Trevor Phillips is a rabid dog. He's crazy, violent and uncontrollable. We'd say he was as much of a danger to himself as to others, only he's a lot more dangerous to others. He might be only one of 3 playable characters in Grand Theft Auto 5, but he might as well be the main character. More than Michael and more than Franklin, Trevor represents the heart and soul of the game and may even be the series' most honest reflection of itself. He started out his life of crime as a simple bank robber, together with his best friends, Michael and Brad. Their last job together took place on a cold day in 2004, knocking over a small bank in the town of Ludendorff. Suddenly busted by the FIB, the team goes their separate ways. Trevor escapes, Brad goes to jail, and Michael, well, he is dead. Or at least that's what Trevor thinks. He grieves for his fallen comrades, going so far as to get a memorial tattoo before packing up and getting on with his life. By the time we meet Trevor in the game, he's become much more than he was, and yet somehow less. Living out of a trailer in the desert wastes of sandy shores, he's gathered around himself a new crew: Ron, Wade and Chef, a crew he controls and abuses at every turn. Their predominant pastime is the operation of Trevor Phillips Enterprises, a name Trevor himself christens his drug and gun trafficking empire. From taking out professional rivals, the Lost Motorcycle Club, to wining and dining rich foreign distributors, it's a job that keeps him busy and occupied, if never completely satisfied. When he discovers that Michael is actually alive, it sparks a fire in him, one that forces Trevor to journey south, to the city of Los Santos, and all the new challenges that await him. Making waves wherever he goes, Trevor tends to take what he wants, when he wants. Motorcycles, accommodation, lives, whatever. He's as spontaneous and amoral as your typical GTA player. The sort of man who thinks nothing of starting a fight with pedestrians, drinking until he blacks out, or absconding with commercial aircraft. Extreme in the extreme, his rampages are almost supernatural, but despite all the good reasons to fear him, he hides a much softer, much more moral side of his personality. Now, we could just dismiss Trevor as a psychopath or a sociopath, and he certainly is both. But the more we learn of his backstory, the more sympathetic we become. Growing up in Canada, Trevor suffered at the hands of an abusive father, causing outbursts of anger and violence ever since. He has long had a passion for aircraft and even attempted to find employment as a legitimate pilot, but was quickly dismissed by the US Air Force for his many social quirks. He landed in prison for a time soon after, but after 4 months he was free, and it was then he met and befriended Michael. Michael might be the most important person in Trevor's life, but throughout Grand Theft Auto 5, we see evidence that this is not his only emotional connection. He's an incredibly needy person, and he often uses guilt to manipulate the people around him. He's also relentlessly territorial, always prepared to defend those he loves from anything he considers a threat. Whether you think he's a good guy or a bad guy, you can't deny Trevor is one of the most interesting, disturbing and fun characters in Grand Theft Auto history. Never before has a gaming protagonist represented their game so well, and we doubt that many ever will. Trevor Phillips is a loyal and dangerous animal, a force of nature, a rabid dog.